like an old Jim Canaan.
That's right, old Jim Canans. That was Robert Wilkins singing about a old house of ill repute in Memphis, Tennessee. And I guess it's sort of appropriate because I have a special guest on the air. Sir, can you hear me?
I can. Hello.
Hello, hang
Can you
on.
hear
Let
me?
me see if I can turn you up here.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah.
Yes.
Can
Hello.
can
Nick.
you
It's
speak up a little
Nick
bit, sir?
Dolby. I'm sorry.
Can you speak up a little bit, sir?
Yes. 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 Of course. This is better.
Yep, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Um, so, as you probably know, folks, I haven't had a guest in the show. To say things have been challenging over the last year, I suppose, would be an understatement. And usually, when I have guests on the program, they're related to music in some way or another. I like to have local musicians on, but obviously, we're not out of the woods with COVID yet or anything like that. But people are going back to seeing live music, going to outdoor events and things like that. And well, this guy got in touch with me, and he wanted to tell me about a program that he's doing to kind of help people get their lives back on track, right after COVID. So, sir, your name is? I want to make sure I get this right. Your name is Dolby Borealis. Is that right?
Borealis. Yes, that's correct. Perfect pronunciation. And I am very, very excited to be here on the show and make myself available to the people of Portland during this time of reopening. And like you say, it's exciting at this moment right now as we're starting to get back out there and feel a bit more confident, with caution, I might add.
Sure.
Uh,
Now, are you local? I'm
but
sorry
it
to cut you off.
also is intimidating.
Are you
I'm
in?
sorry.
I'm sorry. Are you located in town? Are you a local?
I am. Yes, I am located in Portland. I've lived here for about 5 years.
Do you mind if
So
I ask where you're from
pre-pandemic.
originally?
Where I am from originally, well, that's a complicated question to ask a European. I feel like that is an easy question for Americans, where it's like, I was born in Iowa and I grew up in Jersey City and I moved to Chicago. But it's a sort of difficult to really answer. I've been all over.
Okay. You don't have to. I was just curious. So yeah, why don't you tell the listeners about your program? So you told me in very vague terms about it that it's about kind of helping people get their lives back to normal after COVID. So yeah, well, I guess I should ask what your title is. Like, what's? I mean,
Well, it's funny that you mentioned you don't like titles. I think if you need to tell someone your title, they aren't doing a good job, are they?
I guess
You
not.
should be able to speak for yourself, don't you think?
I suppose so. Yeah.
But I have been casually and professionally called a life consultant, an inspirologist, a social vibrationist, an energy actualization expert, as one of my colleagues has referred to me, a rediscovery coach, as one of my clients has referred to me by, metaphysic explorers, and in another life, I was a notary public.
Oh. So
Again, titles are meaningless, and I prefer not to discuss them with regards to this particular program.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't you tell us about that program? I didn't really have a chance to look into it, but it sounded pretty intriguing. So yeah, the floor is yours.
I'm glad you think so. Yes, so as more people are getting vaccinated, I think we're able to get out more and engage with the people in our communities again. But for some of us, this can be very hard after so much time spent in the isolation.
Sure,
So
absolutely.
I've developed a process called circular apex pathfinding.
Circular
and it's
apex pathfinding.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes, it is a mouthful, I understand. But it is through this process that we're able to go back around to the beginning of our best selves and find that path forward.
Okay.
Essentially finding the best moment back in time and sort of just concentrating on that and using it to energize ourselves in the moment.
That sounds great. I mean, yeah, I can just speak for myself. It's been, being cooped up during quarantine and things like that. It's hard to get back to normal. Like I said, people are
Yes.
going out to outdoor events and things like that. But gosh, I mean, I've talked to friends about they say it's like they forget that it's almost like they forget how to socialize or something like that. So is it kind of geared at that, at like kind of getting people to come out of their shells a little more, kind of like
I've heard it referred to people saying that they feel like their mouth is on backwards.
that's right.
You know, this is something that is, I think, will be familiar to any social creature who spends time alone and then is reintroduced into a social setting. But yes, my clients are not for just people who suffer, what we would call a large phobia or something that would pathologize themselves. These are people going to parties, playing music on stage, being mindful of your audience, but even just looking to date again, to go to bars, to talking to strangers, even ordering food can be sort of an awkward experience. So those are all the types of people that I speak with. And in fact, I recently have worked with a small business owner in Portland,
cool.
a young man who owned a motel here in town. And as you can imagine, there have been very few clients in the past year, which left him feeling a bit isolated. And so when this young woman came along from the city that was, from another city, Portland is a city, of course, but he was interested in getting to know her. And he was totally paralyzed with fear. And he was, constantly, maybe obsessively consulting his mother about what to do. And he could not approach this young woman. And he was being inappropriate and barging in on her into the bathroom. And my program helps to sort of just help him overcome and remember what it's like to give people boundaries and also respect yourself. And they are a couple to this day.
Oh, that's great. Those sounds like sounds like you helped people out of their shell. That sounds like kind of familiar, but yeah. All right. So
I mean, we work with all sorts of people. I mean, it's not just the familiar small business owner. I've worked with, I recall, an elderly man who was so crippled with anxiety that he remained bedridden. And he had been since the pandemic, a condition that not many of us may be able to identify with, not being able to leave bed. And he was cramped in his bed that he shared with his wife and his sons in-laws, and relying totally on his grandson for communication with the outside world. But my program gave him the confidence to finally get out of the bed and do something as simple as just taking his grandson to the candy store, and their lives haven't been the same.
Okay, hang on a second. Hang on. Wait, that's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You're just describing the plot. That's Charlie and the Chocolate. You just described the plot to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Okay. I'm just gonna let that slide. But so just tell me about this It sounds interesting, at least. Why don't you? Can you? I'm just gonna look this up here. But why don't you tell me about the process of what did you call it again? Apex.
Well, it's circular apex pathfinding, and I can't disclose all of the process, of course. But essentially, like I said, it's this idea that no matter who we are now, or how low we might be feeling at a given moment, we can always point to a time in our lives where we say, yes, that is the Dolby who I want to be. Okay. That is the apex, the best that we have ever been. And it's a circular journey back to rediscover that apex. Now, not going backwards, but just retracing that circle, going back before the vaccine, along the path to find the best version, before COVID, before all of the panic, and bringing it here into the present, that person that we were. And I know it sounds a little crazy or silly, but here's something your listeners at home can try. It's something I actually do with my clients who have severe gastrointestinal problems related to their anxiety.
Okay.
But the next time you sit down to eat a meal, Nick, I want you to visualize your body absorbing it as a singular solid entity of energy. And I promise you that the next bowel movement that you have will be the most rewarding and efficient experience that you've ever had.
All right.
The reason is that the body can manifest anything if the brain visualizes it with the right application of energy, and my methods focus on this energy.
All right. So I'm looking this up right now, and I'm seeing So I'm seeing this video.
I will warn you that my methods are not discovered online easily, I do recommend people contacting me directly to receive a one-on-one treatment.
Well, hang on a second though. I'm okay. So I'm just looking this up here, and I'm seeing this video, and it says "Circular Apex Pathfinding Exposed." I'm just gonna open this up and see what I find. How about that?
Okay, I'd like to remind the listeners I'm not actually in the studio with you, and I can't verify whether or not this is any relation to my program. Of course, the internet is a large place. Maybe a different sort of circular apex pathfinding.
Okay, hang on a second. So I'm looking at this video. It looks like it's hidden camera footage almost. It's definitely like it's almost like security cam footage. It's pretty grainy. I can't really see what I'm saying, but there's hang on, above the chair there's a chair sitting in a dark room, and there's a sign above it that says unvaccination station. What Hang on, I need to ask you to clarify this, because I am not gonna have like a anti-vaxxer on the air. I'm not gonna give airtime to you if that's what you're about.
No, I am not. Now listen, I do think that the vaccine is 100% effective against COVID, and that we should all get it, whether it's the one dose or all 19. I think that this is probably the best defense we have against the virus and to spread it. However, what we're talking about is unvaccination, which is totally separate, and it is the final step in my program, which is necessary for a fully restored mind and body. And I'm not sure what it's doing up publicly available. I can't speak to that or the credibility of what you're seeing.
Hang on a second. Hang on. I'm just going to skip ahead this video, because this is, folks, I'm talking to Dolby Borealis, this fellow with the Circular Apex Pathfinding program he's telling me about. Okay, look, this is kind of creepy. So first of all, I'm seeing this grainy security cam footage, it looks like. And look, or it's like a hidden camera, but there's a guy, and he's strapped to a chair. It looks kind of, and it almost looks like a haunted house or something. It's like there's like cobwebs and like a fog machine. What is going on? And it's the unvaccination station. What is?
Nick,
yeah.
I would like to remind you that the mind-body connection and the control that is possible with this technique is astounding. And we have all polluted our bodies during this time since COVID and the vaccine, and we need to reconnect and reset. And what my methods are doing are very, very much grounded in, it's called scare therapy.
Well, yeah, okay, hang on. I just got to the part of the video. There's someone coming up behind this guy. He's strapped to a chair, and there's a guy wearing a werewolf mask. What is going on there?
Well, you see, now I want to be clear here. The werewolf is absolutely the most terrifying creature in all of Europe. Objectively, the scariest monster. But scare therapy is it's quite efficient and well established in the community.
Scare therapy.
Now, the idea is that if we can get this, you're putting me on the spot here.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're the one who called in about your program, and I'm giving you a chance to explain yourself.
But I did not want to reveal this final step of unvaccination.
Yeah, what's so I'm sorry to cut you off. This is just really bizarre, and the guy in the werewolf mask keeps looking underneath the chair, and there's like some sort of like box or bucket. It looks like what is going on there?
Well, Nick, now, this is an unvaccination process where there's a physical removing of the vaccine from the body.
So you are an anti-vaxxer then?
I'm not. However, if we are able to remove the COVID vaccine from someone's body, the body actually can trick the mind into forgetting that COVID ever happened, because it is such a physical connection for the body that the mind, once deprived of the physical vaccine, is tricked. And it thinks that there was no COVID in the first place, so you're back to normal. And that is why we have used these methods, including the repository bucket and the scary images, in order to scare people, to scare the vaccine out of them physically. And that is what you're seeing. And I am quite embarrassed to have to reveal my methods. It may seem crude, but they are effective.
this is utterly bizarre. So you're scaring the vaccine out of people? What? I truly don't understand how this works or what you're supposed to be doing here. Like
Well,
what's with the what's with the bucket there? Why does the person keep checking the bucket in this?
Well, Nick, I'm not watching the actual video, but we do use a bucket, and the proof is in the pudding, as they say.
Okay, that is
so. We check to see if there's any pudding in the bucket.
all right.
And,
Okay, all right.
Well, no, you're not understanding, or maybe a language barrier. But once we have found the pudding, then we know that any body debris from that is found in the box is proof of the unvaccination process, and we call it a success.
Okay. All right. This has been Dolby Borealis talking about his program. I'm getting texts here. People are someone saying that I should pull the plug on it, and that why am I boring you with an expert that I didn't verify? And I'm starting to agree, because this is really bizarre. I'm glad to hear that you're not pulling some fast one on me and you're some anti-vaxxer, but this unvaccination process is bizarre, and it is not what you said that you were gonna you were gonna talk about getting people's lives back to normal after the pandemic and things like that.
But Dick, that is precisely what I do, and not all clients require this final step of the mind-body separation from the physical memory of COVID by removal of the vaccine. However, and I'd like to restate, I think that the COVID vaccine is very effective, but it's horrible for our positive mental energy.
Okay.
And also confidence.
But okay, so you're scaring the vaccine out of people somehow. So it's a haunted house, essentially, is what it is. Or I don't know what
it is. I'm not sure of this word, the haunted house in English, but it is a terrifying experience for people that brings them back to sort of an infantile stage in which they are able to deposit any pollutants in their body into the bucket.
Okay. Well, this is you're supposed to be an expert, huh? It's really how you think this works, I'm guessing.
Unfortunately, it is the way it works, and I did not get brought on the program to have my methods questioned, and I certainly, this is probably the wrong way of going about it, starting at the end. People, I encourage them to reach out to me. My name is Dolby Borealis, and to please give the program an honest effort all the way through from the start. And I actually do have to go. I have a meeting with another client. It's been very busy for me.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
She's actually having problems pursuing romance with a coworker.
All right.
I don't want to disclose too much information about my clients, but she's a prostitute, you see. Can I say that on air?
Oh, I suppose so. We usually say sex worker, but yeah.
She's a sex worker, and again, I'm sorry for the language barrier, but I see that she's happened to fall madly in love with one of her wealthy clients, and they're trying to navigate their way.
Okay. That's you're just describing the. Hang on, you're just describing the plot of Pretty Woman there.
What is this?
All right, I'm sorry, man. Best of luck.
She's an attractive woman, though I do try to strip out any sort of sexuality from my relationships with my clients, because I am a professional.
Yeah,
I do have to go, and I thank you for your time, and your criticism is welcome. But Nick, if there's ever been anyone who has been a better candidate for the Circular Apex pathfinding, I would say it's you. And you have my number, so I hope to hear from you soon.
All right, Dolby Borealis, thanks for the call, sir.
Goodbye.
All right. Wow, that was not what I expected. But let's get back to the music here. We're gonna hear from Charlie Poole doing the Milwaukee Blues.